Affairs are being exposed in Coronation Street. Well, kind of. One of them isn't real, but that doesn't stop Lydia, Rebecca Ryan, sharing nasty lies with Sarah Barlow, Tina O'Brien. With Adam, Sam Robertson, being framed for cheating with Lydia, who will Sarah believe? Meanwhile, Kevin Webster, Michael Lavelle, is left stunned when he discovers that Abby Franklin, Sally Carmen, betrayed him. And it looks like the end for them. Monday, February 21st, Part 1. No Seth. Linda calls at number 5 and offers to pay for Joseph to attend the activity club. As an excited Joseph heads off with Granny Linda, Bernie confides in Gemma that she doesn't like Linda. Linda returns home with Joseph to be greeted by Bernie, who explains that 2 of the quads are ill. When Linda suggests Joseph can stay with her at her swanky hotel, Joseph's thrilled. Linda tentatively suggests to Chesney that it's clear they're struggling and it might be best if Joseph came to live with her in Portugal. Max approaches Daniel in the cafe and, after apologizing for all the grief he's given him, asserts that he'll be returning to school next week. Kevin and Jack reveal to Abby that they've booked a holiday in Bridlington for after the adoption hearing by way of celebration. Having opened his speed dial wage packet, Stu insists it's time he started paying Yasmin rent. As Tracy brags to Jenny and Stu about the fine wine tasting experience Ken got her for Christmas, Stu's taken aback by her rudeness. In the factory, Lydia lies to Sarah, telling her she tried to finish with her married man but he refuses to accept it's over. Monday, February 21st, Part 2. Affair Cop. As Imran and Toya celebrate their engagement in the bistro, their romantic mood is broken by the arrival of Sally, Abby, and Sean. Sally finds Abby outside the bistro clearly upset. Abby admits to Sally that she slept with someone else behind Kevin's back. Chesney's furious and orders Linda out of the house. Outside number 5, Bernie rails at Linda. Joseph approaches and Linda asks him outright if he'd like to come and live with her. In the cafe, Chesney makes it clear to Linda that she's to stay away from Joseph in future. As Gemma and Chesney discuss how best they can ensure Joseph's happiness, Joseph listens from the stairs and misconstrues by thinking they don't want him anymore. At number 5, Joseph announces that wants to live with Granny Linda. Stu remarks to Jenny that high and mighty Tracy ought to be taken down a peg or two. Sarah tells Adam about Lydia's married man and how she feels sorry for her as he won't leave her alone. Wednesday, February 23rd, Part 1. Webster of Lies. While Kevin and Jack show Alex around the rented camper van, Abby begs Sally not to tell Kevin about her infidelity. Sally refuses to make any promises. With the adoption hearing about to start, Abby calls Sally and leaves a message, begging her not to tell Kevin and to give her one last chance of happiness. The social worker gives Abby a glowing report, but when the judge rules that they'll reconvene on the 14th March, Kevin and Abby are disappointed. In the factory, Sally listens to Abby's message. Abby takes a call from Sally, unaware that her phone is connected to the Bluetooth speaker in the camper van. Having heard their conversation, Kevin reels in shock. Lydia turns on the waterworks in front of Sean and makes out it's man trouble. Sean offers to have a word with Sarah. Imran shows Adam a series of online reviews, slating him as a solicitor. As Dev surveys his stock delivery, he's annoyed to realize they've given him some cheap, nasty wine by mistake. Stu offers to buy it off him. In the speed dial kitchen, Stu carefully steams the labels off the cheap bottles of wine and the expensive bottles of wine meant for Tracy. Stu drops the case of wine round to number 1, making out it was delivered to the wrong house, and heads off, grinning to himself. Chesney begs Joseph to reconsider. In the Rovers, Gemma unwittingly lets slip to Linda that Joseph wants to live with her. Wednesday, February 23rd, Part 2. Tracy is given cause to whine. Tracy sets out the bottles of wine that Ken bought her on the table and invites Steve and Mary to join him for a tasting session. At number 1, Mary, Steve and Tracy struggle with the disgusting selection of wines on offer. Stu explains to Yasmin that he's bought her a brazier. Thinking he said brazier, Yasmin's taken aback. As they warm themselves in front of the new brazier, Stu pours Yasmin a mug of Ken's posh wine. Sarah tells Lydia about the online abuse Adam's being subjected to. Lydia makes out to Sarah that her ex won't stop hounding her with texts. Outside Victoria Court, Sarah and Adam row over Lydia. Lydia listens, intrigued. A loved-up Amy and Jacob share a kiss and agree to carry on seeing each other in secret. Izzy tears a strip off Linda for trying to prise Joseph away from his family. In the Rovers, Bernie and Linda trade insults while Fergus tries, but fails, to keep the peace. Kevin flees the street after leaving Abby for good. Friday, February 25th, hour-long. Not keeping a lid on it. Sarah answers Adam's phone to Sasha from the hotel informing her that they've found the lady's watch from his last visit. In the factory, Lydia makes out that she spent the night with her married ex. Sarah tells Lydia about the lady's watch. Sarah returns home and searches through Adam's receipts. She finds one from an expensive lingerie shop in London. Sarah calls the hotel and queries Adam's bill, and the receptionist confirms that he ordered champagne and oysters. Sarah confronts Lydia. Lydia feigns tears and admits that she and Adam are having an affair. Lydia makes out that she and Adam just couldn't resist each other, and suddenly they're interrupted by the arrival of Adam. Adam assures Sarah that Lydia's lying through her teeth, but when Sarah shows him the receipts, will she believe him? Imran quizzes Abby, wanting to know how much she's told Kevin. Toy approaches. Imran and Abby freeze. Later, Abby calls Kevin and leaves a message telling him that she loves him. Ken phones the wine merchant and tears a strip off them for the poor quality of their wines. Stu calls at number 1 with 4 bottles of posh wine and admits to Ken how he swapped the expensive wine for some cheap plonk from Dev's. How will Ken react? Craig starts work at Underworld and does his best to appear upbeat for Faye's sake. His first shift in packing over, Craig paints on a smile, but Faye can see how unhappy he is. In the cafe, Joseph moans to Linda about his miserable life. Sally finds Abby in Victoria Garden and explains that she's off to stay with Gina.